What's up everybody? In today's video, I'm gonna do an unboxing and a quick review of this Cuisinart Kitchen Pro food slicer. This is the FS-75 model and it's meant for home use, and with it, you can cut anything from meat to bread to vegetables, fruits, and cheese, and whatever else you can think of as long as it's food. You just go ahead, throw it on the food slicer, set the thickness you want, turn it on, and slice away. So in this video, I'm going to show you the complete unboxing and unpacking of this unit. Then I'm going to prep it and get it ready to cut a brisket into nice thin slices. So I hope you'll stick around and see what happens. Let's do this. Looks like here's our instruction manual, and the whole unit appears to be fully assembled on the inside, so I'm going to go ahead and try to find an easy way to slide it out. Okay, now that I got all the plastic off, so I'm going to go ahead and remove all this extra packaging to get it out of the way, because we're going to have to remove the blade and the tray. And I'm going to have to clean all these with some mild soap and water before first use. Now that everything's clean, I'm going to go ahead and reassemble everything. This piece right here is called a food carriage, and that pops on basically opposite of the way we took it off. That flips back and forth right there. The blade can go back on. And then remember, we turned it clockwise to get it off, so we'll turn it counterclockwise to lock it. So one thing I forgot to do earlier was to take this blade guard off right here. This is just to keep the blade protected during shipping and in packaging. So this is just like a rubber piece. You can kind of like pop it right off, but you need to take this off. Otherwise, your blade is not going to cut anything except for that rubber piece if you turn it on with the rubber piece on there. This is the slice control knob, as I call it. And this basically controls the thickness of your slice from 0 to 15. So 0, 5, 10, 15. I'm not sure exactly what that translates into for thickness. So let's find out. So I got my measuring tape because I didn't actually see it in the booklet of what the max thickness was. So I'm basically gonna adjust the blade adjustment knob all the way to its thickest setting. And I'm just gonna measure off of this little back stop right here. And it looks like we got about 5/8 of an inch. That's pretty good thick slice. And then that ranges anywhere from there all the way to 0. And they have some markings on here. So for example, if you set the blade thickness to a 5, it looks to get you about roughly 1/8 of an inch thick. 10, about 3/8, and then 15, about 5/8 thick. And you can go anywhere in between there, so you have an infinite amount of thicknesses in between there. So I think most of the things that you'd ever want to slice are going to be between 0 and 5/8 of an inch. So this should cover most of those needs right there. All right, before we try it out, I just want to go over a few more key pieces of information that you might find useful. I noticed that I don't have the dimensions anywhere, so I'm going to measure it and we'll find out what the dimensions are together. So lengthwise, we are about 15 inches long on the base, but if you count this little piece right here, well, let's say that's in, but if you count this piece, overall it's about just under 17 inches long. So that's how much space you would need if you're going to store it in a cabinet or something like that. Depth, total depth with this safety guard closed fully, we are looking at about 10.5 inches deep. And for height, 10.5 inches tall. So just to recap, 10.5 inches tall by 10.5 inches deep by about 17 inches long if you count to this little winged section right here. In terms of power usage, this uses 130 watts when it's running, and they do recommend that you do not run it for more than 10 minutes straight. It's not intended to run for longer periods of time beyond 10 minutes. This is not a commercial unit. It's made for home use. So if you are gonna run it for more than 10 minutes, they recommend that you shut it off, let the motor cool down, and then you can go ahead and turn it back on and continue using it. I think that's about it. I think that's all I wanted to cover. Now I'm gonna try it out and see how it works. So I have myself a small brisket. I think it's about 3 pounds. A couple weeks ago, we smoked a few smaller briskets. And I vacuum sealed this one, put it inside the freezer, and kept it in there until I was ready to use it. Typically when we have brisket, I either put it down on the cutting board, chop it up into cubes, and then slide it onto a plate, or I'll try to slice it into nice even slices, but my slices are never that perfect because I'm not a food slicer. So now that I have this food slicer, I'm really excited to try to slice this brisket in nice thin slices where you could throw it in a sandwich or enjoy it just as well on a dinner plate. Hold off on that. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the blade. Right now I have it set for a thin slice. So let's check it out. It's just like a shave right now. So I'm going to adjust it for a thicker slice. There's a slice right there. Let's go ahead and slice the rest of it. All right, so it worked pretty good. So these are the slices that I have. This is on the thinner side. This pretty much is thin. Well, actually this is about as thin as I could get it, while still keeping it as a continuous slice. Anything thinner than this and it just kind of shaves it. And since this is brisket and it was a nice and tender brisket, it just wants to kind of fall apart. Then I have some thicker slices that I made like this. These look good. It does make quite a bit of a mess. I don't think this will happen with everything that you slice, but with this brisket, it had a lot of dry rub on it and a lot of pieces kind of fell. This food carriage comes off completely. The safety guard comes off. So you can take everything apart relatively easy, quick to bring it over and get cleaned. So there you have it, folks. We just sliced that brisket using the FS-75 Cuisinart food slicer. I will say the process itself was very easy, but the cleanup, kind of a pain in the butt. I had to take all the individual pieces off, clean those in the sink, but then the rest of the machine, which can't go into the sink, I had to wipe that down with a sponge and then dry it with like a paper towel. It is kind of cumbersome. I think the next time that I slice something like brisket using this, I'll probably just place this whole entire machine on a large cutting board, and then that'll hold some of the mess that falls onto the counter and just make cleanup a little bit easier. Overall though, very easy to use, and it did do a good job of slicing the brisket. So I hope you found this video informative. I hope you learned something in this video, and if you do consider purchasing one of these Cuisinart kitchen food slicers, now you at least know what to expect. So if you liked this video or if you found it helpful, give me a like and then subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.